Hi, today I'd like to demonstrate how you might get a wheelchair into a car. And there's a couple of different, I'll demonstrate two different techniques. But first I want to just talk about the basic principle. And the principle of getting it in is to not lift the entire weight of the wheelchair. And secondly, to be safe while doing it so that you don't hurt your back. The two principles involved are, one, don't lift the entire weight, but shift the weight from one part of the wheelchair to the other at any given time. And the second principle is always be grabbing the wheelchair from a fixed frame or locked, a locked part, not a movable part. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate first getting the wheelchair into the back seat. Now, keep in mind that wheelchairs come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, and cars as well. So there's no one way to do this, but I'm going to just demonstrate, and I'll tell you about the principles of getting the chair in. Before I start, though, I want to just point out that I've removed the leg rests. Removable leg rests, if they have them, should be removed and put away in the trunk or in the back seat, as well as a cushion or any other part that might be loose. Okay? Then you fold up the chair, you release the brakes, and you tilt it. Now, some wheelchairs have these anti-tip bars, and you need to either remove them or flip them up so that it allows for a full tilting of the wheelchair. Then you're going to place the wheelchair so that one, and you can come closer, one wheel of the front casters is actually in the wheel well, because that's where you're going to shift the weight to when you lift the wheelchair up. So now, if you want to focus down on the handles of the wheelchair, now I'll lift it, but I'm not lifting the whole chair, I'm lifting the back end, and the weight's going to the front. And then I want to make sure that I can get that second wheel into the wheel well, and that it drops down into the wheel well. That allows the back handles then, hopefully, to fit into the space of the car, okay? And then you're just tilting. I'm not rolling it in, I'm just tilting it against, letting the weight of the chair work in your favor rather than against you. I've covered it with a blanket, and it protects the upholstery, as well as just providing a nice sliding surface. And I actually had the blanket over the frame of the vehicle again, so that it can slide with the chair, okay? And that's it. It's locked in. I locked the wheels so that they don't roll. It's come unlocked now, but it was locked as I'm bringing the wheelchair in, okay? And you're done. When deciding what side of the car to get the chair into, you want to pick the side where the front seat is furthest forward. So if the driver's seat is further forward, you would get it in on the driver's side. If it's the passenger seat that's further forward, you get it on the passenger side. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it out, and if you notice, the brakes should be locked on the wheelchair so that when you grab the wheels, they're not rolling for you. That's an important little detail. All right, so I pull it out, but I'm not lifting. I'm just dropping it down. The wheel stays in the well as I get these back wheels on the ground. Release the brakes, roll it back, lock the brakes again, and you're ready to go. Okay, so now I'll demonstrate getting the wheelchair into the trunk. Again, trunks, doors open, minivans, they open differently than this car, etc. But as long as you see the principles that I apply, one being to always try to get one piece of the wheelchair in and then pivot on that piece so you're not lifting the full weight of the wheelchair. In this case, I'm going to be backing the wheelchair up to the trunk, locking the wheels, grabbing the frame that's not movable, and I will bear the weight on the back of the handles here. So again, I'm not lifting the full weight of the chair, but rather I'm just pivoting. All right, drop it in and tilt it, and then I can just kind of wiggle it in and slide it back. Okay? Okay, so now to take it out, again, I'll just emphasize that I'm not lifting the weight of the chair, but I'm using the car to rest the weight, shift the weight to the handles as I lower it. without having to actually physically lift the whole thing. What you want to avoid is having to physically lift the whole chair up and get it in like that, because it's awkward, it's heavy,